Our special guest this afternoon, my buddy, Richard Szerman. How are you doing from Alta Realty? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Nice and cool in here, right?
Yeah, much better in here than outside. Oh, my God.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about the Resale Renovation program, where we give people money to help fix up their houses. We figure it's a good thing to do beginning of summer here, and summer is certainly underway. A lot of people need to fix up their houses, get them sold, hopefully get them sold during the summer. And lots of times people don't have the money to make those repairs, so we step into that breach. We make a few repairs. The house sells for more money, which is good for everybody. As a realtor, we know that houses in the best condition sell for the most money the quickest, but aren't too many people who are willing to step into that breach to take care of that stuff. We do it all the time. We step in, we do carpet, we do paint, we do whatever kind of needs to be done so the property can sell for its highest and best value. And as a result, the sellers make more money, and so do we as realtors.
A question on what exactly we should concentrate on. I've heard so much. I have a couple of questions regarding the value of your home and resale. I've heard, and please correct me because I could be so wrong. I don't know anything of which I speak of, and that's why you're here. But I've heard one of the biggest things you always want to fix up on your home, if you can, is the kitchen. The kitchen's like one of the top
bathrooms.
things.
Yeah, kitchen bathrooms tend to be what sell homes, but it depends on the property. Like we did one recently, where the house itself wasn't necessarily in bad shape. It was kind of okay on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say it was a solid 8. But it had this white fence out in front. Well, it should be a white fence, and it was just a split rail fence, nothing fancy, but it was big and it went around the entire lot, and it just made the house look bad. It was dingy. It was busted up. So for a few bucks, we had a crew go in, replace all the frame rails, or paint the thing, get it looking good, fix a couple of gates and things like that. Now the house has some curb appeal. We also did some landscaping out front. Mm-hmm. Now it has some curb appeal, and we actually got quite a bit more than the house was listed for. I think we had it listed for $850, and it sold for $875 with multiple offers.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge.
It didn't cost us a whole heck of a lot. It didn't cost the seller anything. We absorbed the cost of that, but it sold the house for $25,000 more than the list, which was terrific.
So curb appeal is very important because I know when I was looking for a home several years ago, what would happen is we would drive up, with the realtor who we hired. You'd drive up and you'd be keep driving.
We're going to feel our age a little bit. I suspect you and I are right about the same point. Years ago, you would drive around and do that. These days, most people do that online. So what they react to first is this teeny tiny little picture, sometimes on their phone. And if that picture doesn't get them interested, then they're probably not going to click through to find out the rest of the information. So that first picture, which is what curb appeal is essentially, has got to catch their attention.
What is this internet you speak of?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know. I do the same thing. I have a staff who's much younger than I do. So they refer to me as the guy who tries to make a fire by stacking 2 stones together, and he's trying to always. So when they get mad at me, they throw lighters at me, which is funny. I'm supposed to get what that means. So I get it, I do. But that picture becomes very, very important. And yeah, kitchens are important, baths are important, but the whole package is important. Mm-hmm. And what we find is, and every house is different. This particular house is a fine kitchen. There's nothing wrong with it. We fixed a couple of cabinet doors and things as part of the process. But we find that when you go through a house and it's not a lot, when you spend a couple of bucks fixing it up, mm-hmm. Replacing carpet here, some cabinets there, whatever it may be, the houses tend to sell for more money and they tend to sell faster. And we have the same exact goal as the sellers do, to get it sold usually as quickly as we can for as much money as we can. Some people want it a little slower, but in any case, the goal is to maximize that, and that's not going to happen if there are 4 houses on the market and yours is the dingiest of the group. Yours may be in the best location, it may be the nicest house, but if it doesn't look the part, you're not going to get the offers on it. You're not going to be able to sell it for what you'd like to, or what you should be able to. So we step into that breach. We do it all the time, and we fix things up. And you can even use your own contractors. You don't have to use our people. We're happy to use whomever you'd like. I just have to be licensed, of course. And there are some restrictions. We want to make sure we're doing this properly. But no one else that I know of does this sort of thing. Realtors are very guilty all the time of telling clients what to do. Fix this, take care of that.
Oh, yeah.
Several realtors. Well, in this particular case, several realtors says, you got to paint that fence. And my clients went, well, I don't have the money to paint the fence, nor do I have the wherewithal. I don't have the desire to do it. So we stepped in, took care of it. The guys were out there for a day and a half. They fixed up the fence and a bunch of other things. We spent, I think, $4,000 or $5,000 on it, which wasn't a whole lot of money, given the cost of the house. The house sold for $25,000 more. So, and it didn't cost the seller a dime. So they're very happy about it.
Which is so great. You kind of come in like Superman and help, but it all happens in the back end. Mm-hmm. It's not money wasted for sure. Yeah. And that's what people have to realize. Yeah. One more question, real mm-hmm. quick, yep. And then we'll talk about some more fixing up.
Sure.
I need to know about pools.
Sure.
I have been told, another rumor, I don't know true or not, true or false, a pool does not increase the value of your home.
That is, yeah, you can't make blanket statements like that. It depends on the pool. There's a house locally who is owned by a guy who makes pools that, I'm not kidding, has animatronic dinosaurs in his backyard.
Okay.
A lot of realtors know where that is. That pool is going to make a difference. That house is going to sell for more money because it's basically a really awesome pool with very nice house attached. But it depends on the house, depends on the situation. If you have a house that really ought to have a pool and the pool will get you the money out of it, then it will. There's no pat answer to that. There just isn't. It depends on where the market's at. In an expanding market, when prices are going up, which is what we see now, especially when you're going to a really hot summer like we have now, pools become really valuable. People will actually pay a lot more for a house if it has a pool than if it doesn't, if they're a buyer looking for a pool.
Right.
But it all, so much depends on the situation. Like, for example, I have a client right now we're working with, one of the many buyers we have right now. They have little kids. They have two little ones. They do not want a pool because they don't have to worry about it and have to child fencing and all that good stuff. Where you have other clients who their demographic is fairly similar. What they're looking for is very similar, and they're going to kill if they don't get a pool. So everybody's different in that respect.
No, yeah.
A good rule of thumb is you're usually going to get about half. If you spend money to put in the pool, you're going to get about half what you put into it out of it within about 5 years. That's usually the best formula. But if you spend $100,000 on a pool, that probably doesn't apply. If you spend 12, then you're probably going to make more money than you spend on the pool. Every situation is different. There are very few in real estate, because houses are such a personal thing, and because the type of house and where it sits and what it is such an individual thing, that every situation is different. I always try to counsel clients to stay away from the pat answers. I read here that if I do remodel my kitchen, I'll get half of that back. No, you might do better.
You mean the questions I ask you?
Yeah, no offense to the question you're asking. It's just not a very good way to do that.
Richard Szerman, you are amazing. I always learn stuff from you. Always. You always bring so great information to us here at this station. If people want to get in touch with you, please let them know how they can do it.
Sure. Well, I'll do my best to live up to the billing. You can reach me anytime at 661-714-1400. That's my cell phone. It's available 24 hours a day. Again, that's 661-714-1400. You can text at that number as well. I have a website and all sorts of stuff and a staff and everything else, but it's just easier just to call me directly. It's just the easiest. 661-714-1400.
Plus, you get to talk to Richard.
And you get to talk to me.
Richard Szerman, always a pleasure. You're always welcome anytime, because I learned so much.